Hi, and welcome back to Sacred Enzyme. On this episode, I would like to go over the chakra centers in our body. Now, the chakra centers in our body are considered energy centers that are located in specific areas of our body. Now, a lot of people have heard of acupuncturists, and a lot of people don't understand exactly what they do, but they work in a field where they understand how the body's electromagnetic field works, and they use needles to disrupt or to encourage or transmute energy in different reflexology points and different nerve centers throughout the body. But the body is full of nerve centers. I mean, we're just one big electrical system. It's so complex and amazing. It's like a big network of people working together when we have a crisis, how, you know, the whole town can come together and people are just blown away at just like the outpouring of empathy and sympathy and compassion, and they manifest amazing things by just putting everything together. Our body's like that. It's just like a whole network of things that are just going on, and everybody's working together, and it's like a well-oiled machine. But you know, it's kind of like in school when you're in elementary school and you had a whole class and everything was going good, but you always had that one kid in there that always had to stir the pot and get us, and everybody got in trouble. When I went to school, you had one person that acted up and the whole class got in trouble. And it's kind of like that with the body. When we're putting things in our body that don't belong in there, it can put a monkey wrench in the whole program, and it can start causing problems if we continue to do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that kid in class. Eventually, if he doesn't learn to, you know, quit getting everybody in trouble, then he's gonna have to go, right? So I want to explain, really break this series down that I'm doing about the energy centers, our magnetic field, the frequencies in the environment, the frequencies from microwave, electricity. There's a lot of microwaves that are, there's so many kinds of waves. But it all boils down to that it's electricity. It's a form of electricity. And our bodies are one, and then the food that we put in our body has different types of nutrients in it, and those nutrients are basically what you see on a periodic table. And on that periodic table is a whole list of different elements, but food and everything, every living thing has cells, and these cells all run on functions, and they require different kinds of things to grow and be fruitful and prosperous, just like plants, animals, and us. We have to really fine-tune our diets and find out, hey, what is really gonna feed my body and make me healthy? But it goes a lot further than that, because our mind is so important in our energy centers. If we've not been taking care of our magnetic field all these years, you know, a lot of us have endured trauma. You know, there's a lot of trauma that happens, and it's just the way the world is, right? You know, things happen, accidents happen, people get hurt, you know, crimes, people are, you know, there's crimes, there's physical disabilities that people are born with, you know, autism and things like that on the spectrum. And I really think that, in my opinion, and I'll say this in my opinion because I've been doing a lot of research, talking to people that have children that are on the spectrum, or they have children that have diseases that involve the neurological system or the electrical system, that there are a lot of common threads. And one of those things is the gut microbe. The gut microbe is so important for an expecting mother, well, for any person at any time, but especially for an expectant mother. Now, if an expectant mother has a gut microbe that has H. pylori bacteria in it, and H. pylori bacteria disrupts the natural gut microbe that our bodies have, because in the last video I did, I was comparing our stomach to a mushroom. And the reason that I compare our stomach to a mushroom is our stomach is really like more than an organism. Our stomach is like an organ. I'm sorry guys that I move around so much. I really need a better chair. I've had multiple back surgeries and I have a hard time feeling comfortable in this chair, and it makes me sit very awkward. I feel like I'm rolled up. Anyway, back to the video. I was talking about the stomach, and the stomach is like a mushroom because the mushroom is a fungi, and a fungi is really special and unique. People are just now starting to understand the research or coming to revelations of how important fungi is to our body. Mushrooms do incredible things for the body. They're shaped like the brain, but the brain controls the nervous system, and the nervous system is obviously you got to have it. You got to have your nervous system, but when you have an overstimulated nervous system, or your nervous system didn't get what it needed, maybe because of an upset or a bad gut microbe or antibiotics. A lot of times if you have a child that's born that has a very large stomach sensitivity, like they have a sensitivity to formula if you're not able to breastfeed, which breastfeeding is just the best thing for if you can. Some people just can't and don't feel bad about it. I wasn't able to breastfeed and I really wanted to. But if I would have known more about nutrition and the fact that my enzymes weren't working right, I could have probably had a better foundation. But also, I had 3 children and 2 pregnancies. And on both of those pregnancies, I conceived because I was on antibiotics. Now, both of my sons have always had digestive problems. Now, my one son has been tested with multiple endos, and he has H. pylori, which the common thread that I have discovered so far, and I've talked to about 10 different mothers, is that all of them or their spouses or significant others were on a course of antibiotics prior to the pregnancy, and that caused a disruption in the gut microbe. That gut microbe then it causes the gut microbe of your fetus to start out with a lot of histamine responses. And what I mean by histamine responses is aversions to formula, aversions to digestive issues like chronic tummy pain, crying a lot because they have GERD, or a lot of throwing up after eating, and constipation. That usually is pretty good indicator. And if your baby is experiencing these kind of histamine responses and you fit these criteria, I would really be interested in talking to you, because I would like to talk to more people and see if we can come to a clear-cut indication of if these instances are started out from the gut microbe and if they can be reversed, because I think they can. I think that if an anti-parasitic, of course you have to have, you can go to a nutritionist, a holistic doctor, and you can get a blood panel. They'll send you for a blood panel. And on that blood panel, we'll check everything. And a lot of times they do prescribe a course of an antiparasitic. And the other thing is a digestive enzyme. Now, children, that have their gut microbe restored, and also it causes, when your gut microbe is restored, it just causes a whole domino effect of improvements in the body. Because first of all, the body is absorbing more nutrients from the food. because you don't have this bacteria going on, and the overall general wellness is going to be better. And I have not gotten enough concrete research yet to indicate, but the stomach and the brain are very much entwined. And when you reduce the inflammation in the gut, it also helps with overall inflammation in the body, which helps with the neurological system. So these centers, to get to what I was originally filming here, I want to talk about the energy centers in the body. Now, the energy centers in the body all correspond with a shape and a color and an emotion. So sometimes, and also food correlate with these centers. So this is what's very interesting. But we're just going to go over the energy centers and the colors and potentially, you know, what these emotions say about these colors. So I'll start from our lowest chakra, which is our very, very, very bottom chakra, okay? And the color for the red chakra, our root chakra, at the base of our spine chakra, is red. It's red. And have you ever known somebody that was a real hothead or very sexual or something? You know, you know, they're like hot. They're hot. You know, that person is hot, right? And we think of hot as red, right? So red is your vitality. And your vitality comes from the root. You know, everything has to have a good foundation to start out, right? So we start at the roots of the tree. They're deep down, the roots of the tree. But the roots are red, and you know, this is your lymphatic system. And a lot of people consider this with like your survival instincts, or you know, your flight or fight your system. A lot of people can have an out of balance root chakra. Now, if your root chakra is off, you might have a lot of problems with your intestines. You know, that's one thing. And the other thing is you might have a lot of problems with going to the bathroom, or problems with your circulatory system or your lymphatic system. Now, if you found lately that you want to eat a lot of red meat, you might have an imbalance in your root chakra. Now, if you find that lately you've just been really hungry for apples or strawberries, or you know, something like that, that could also be telling you that your root chakra is out of balance. So I would encourage you to really enjoy some fresh in season red fruits and red vegetables like red leaf lettuce or beets or things like that. Those will help balance those out. But the red, the emotion behind the red is, I need to start. I need to start. I need to grow. I need to grow. So if someone is stuck in the red, in the base chakra, in the root chakra here, in the root chakra, if you're stuck in the root chakra, then you just you can't grow up, you know? You can't get that motivation you need. You gotta just dig in, because you gotta start. You gotta start. So when your root's out of whack, you're not starting right. You gotta go back and you gotta get that right, because everybody's gotta start at their foundation. Now, a lot of people will have lower back pain, and you've been to the doctor and you've been through all these tests, and they can't understand. There's like no physical, they can't find any physical reason that you're having this pain. Well, it could be that your root chakra is out of whack. And you can go online and you can learn some breathing exercises that you can go and you can learn how to relax yourself and balance yourself more, and be able to work through that. Sometimes, you know, if we have a chakra at the root that's not up to par, that could be because of trauma in our past that we've not dealt with, and that stagnant energy is staying there because that's your lymphatic system, that's your it's like your really repressed feelings that are they're not pleasant. Those get shoved down like that bad seed, like that seed that you ate when you were young and it hurt you so bad and you've never been able to talk about it or deal with it. You don't want to deal with it. It's time. It's time. Don't ever be ashamed to talk about something that happened to you, especially when you were a child or you were vulnerable, because there is no shame for children that have been traumatized. You should know that you can talk about those kind of things. You have to deal with those seeds that get implanted, because those can affect you long term into habits of addiction, promiscuity, eating disorders, you know, bad choices, risky behaviors. You know, a lot of people that are adrenaline junkies, you know, they're always chasing stimulation of some sort. That can be a problem in the root chakra. Now, orange is the sacrum, and the sacrum is your reproductive system. Now, they say the old term, if you don't use it, you lose it. But you also have to understand that it's healthy to be sexually active, but it's not healthy to your emotional magnetic field when you're promiscuous and you are exchanging energy and you're taking someone's seed, because there's cells in those seeds, there's life in the seed, it's energy in the seed. You're being impregnated as a woman, and you're, as a male, you are exchanging fluids with another person. And so there's energy with that, there's intentions with that. So you have to be careful of what you're putting into your temple. So if you are in a relationship that's nurturing and healthy, a very good reproductive or intimate life is extremely important for your sacrum, because it keeps your reproductive organs functioning. You need to be functioning. Your body needs to work. It has things it's supposed to do. Just because you get older and you can't have children doesn't mean that you should not be using your reproductive organs. Now, if you're having problems with your reproductive organ or your sacrum chakra, you might experience bladder problems, you know, or problems with your kidneys, lower back pain. That is your sacrum. That's your sacrum. And, you know, a lot of times you can really help your sacrum energy center by eating fruits and vegetables that are orange, right? Oranges, honey, carrots, papayas. You know, one of the interesting things is that papaya is high in this compound called bromelain, and also quercetin, Quercetin is how I think it's spelled. But often you can find a supplement in the store, which is that plus bromelain, which is interesting because those are very good supplements for your sacrum, your reproductive organs. It also great for your digestive system. If you have a lot of inflammation in your body, or even if you are having a surgical procedure, if you consume fresh pineapples, 2 cups a day, days before and after through your surgical period, it has been proven that it helps with swelling, bruising, and recovery. So there are wonderful healing things in the food. So orange fruits and vegetables are very good because they help with your enzymes. Now, have you ever seen cleaner that has oranges and lemon scent in it? Well, there's a reason for that, because it's a great cleaner. It cleans your body up. It cleans the filters. So it helps you get that respiration going that you need to have, because you need to breathe, right? If you can't breathe, you can't function. And it also helps with your stomach, right? Sometimes you eat stuff that don't feel too good on your tummy. You can drink some lemon water, and it's good for your stomach. It helps, and it also helps with bad bacteria in your gut. But one of the other things is that you can have honey and walnuts too. You know, honey is so good. You know, they used to talk about in old times, some of these great warriors, they lived on milk and honey. Even in the Bible, they talk about the Canaanites. They were huge men, or it was the land of milk and honey. Honey, they didn't eat honey for no reason, honey. Honey is amazing for your body. Anyway, let's get on to the next thing. And the next thing about the orange is if you are stuck in an orange, in the orange plexus of chakra, you might need to think about getting out of your comfort zone. You know, maybe you're not socializing, or maybe you don't want to take on a new thing in your life that you need to be doing. You don't want to take that first step. You need to be more open-minded. Maybe you're in a funk. So that can have to do with, you know, this part of the body. Your sacrum is very important. So, you know, you're motivated with your reproductive organs. You know, you got to get down, right? Well, you got to get down. If your sacrum is not functioning right, you just don't want to get down, right? It's time to crack out the orange fruits and vegetables, right? So the next thing is the yellow, which is your solar plexus. This is right here in the middle, man. This is like the filters of the body. Man, oh man, that's your liver and your stomach and your gallbladder and your pancreas. And it's your sympathetic nervous system, which activates your stress response. If you're stressed out all the time, man, I tell you what, your yellow, your sunshine, your solar plexus is probably out of balance, right? That's your adrenal glands. Are you getting a lot of cortisol? Are you putting a lot of fat through your midsection? Have you been hitting the sauce lately? Yeah, you probably start getting fat through the gut. That's why all those people that you know are hitting those gin and tonics every night at 5:30 got that pot gut and they're skinny all over, right? Well, that's because the filters in the body are not happy. The liver's not happy. The gallbladder's not happy. The pancreas is certainly not happy. And you can't live without a pancreas, right, folks? If you get cancer in the pancreas, you're in trouble. And the stomach and the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands, they help regulate the stress response. So, you know, if you're not de-stressing, you've got a problem in the solar plexus. The solar plexus is your ego. Your solar plexus is your not sociable, your lack of sociability. Get in the sun. Get over yourself, right? Stop being so stressed out. Everything's gonna be all right, right? Everything's gonna be all right. Get you some yellow fruits and vegetables. Get some pineapple. Eat some whole grains. Eat some of those good grains. Not that stuff you rip the top off and you pour it in a bowl and you mix some milk in it and put it in the microwave and it tastes good because you don't have to add any sugar. Not those kind of grains. Eat the good kind. Try some yellow spices like turmeric. Turmeric is really good for your body. It is great for filtering. Try things that are roots, root vegetables that are yellow, like ginger, turmeric, curry powder. All those things are great for helping with your filter. Look for a good detox tea that has turmeric, curry, or turmeric and ginger. Add some honey. That's great. You know, you could have some pineapples or some star fruit or yellow pepper or yellow squash. All those yellow vegetables are really good for you. Now, I already talked about the heart. Now, the heart is green. The heart is green, and this is the love chakra. Sometimes we feel like that we're unloved, or sometimes we feel like we don't belong, or sometimes we feel like we're just odd, or people are judging us, or, you know, we have, it's just feelings this, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling this way, she made me feel this way, he made me feel this way, I made them feel this way. Feelings. We get so caught up in feelings that sometimes it's just hard to feel and love without judging, because we're always so worried that we're gonna be hurt or be that. But we can't worry. We can't worry, because when you worry, you get stressed, and when you get stressed, then your solar plexus is out, and then when you're not loving like you should, your heart chakra is not working right, and then you can get these pains in your back right here. You can't tell if it's your back hurting, or if it's in your lungs, or if you what. It feels like you got a knife stuck in your back. Well, I can tell you that that's that heart chakra. It needs to be woke up. You need to get out and nurture some nature. If you can't connect with people, go outside and love on the earth, because the earth needs love, and the earth will love you back, and the earth doesn't make you feel any kind of way, and the butterflies will come out, and when your light starts shining, you just attracted a beautiful, just a beautiful frequency around you, and it brings all of nature into you, and it's a wonderful experience. So when your heart chakra's not working right, you need to really start getting those green leafy vegetables. You need to not only go out into nature and nurture, but you also need to pick some of those delicious, green, healthy, nutritious fruits and vegetables from outside and bring them in and incorporate them in your diet, right? Like avocados, right? Even avocado oil, you know. Get out there, eat you some green onions, make you some mustard greens, you know, have some green peppers, you know, all kind of things, green vegetables, kale, maybe some cabbage. You know, there's so many green vegetables and fruits to choose from. I mean, it's just endless. Green apples, everything. You know, and it's funny because when you cut open an apple, it looks like a heart inside. So, I mean, you know, nurturing and giving some of yourself without expecting something back, it brings you a wonderful bounty. And it is so rewarding to the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is all about green. And if you can raise that frequency, you will bring so much amazing things into your life. Because when you reflect love out, love is reflected back to you. And love can be reflected in and out in so many different ways when it comes from the heart. Even in the smallest little paper note that you got from your child when he was 5 years old and could barely know how to write, he wrote he loved his mommy on a piece of paper in crayon. And it was the most amazing gift of love you ever got, right? Or that grilled cheese sandwich that you made for your kids and you cut the crust off. That extra bit of love, right? That's the heart chakra working right there. But sometimes when we're out of balance, you know, our energy level is low. So those green leafy vegetables are really going to nourish that blood. And so the next thing I want to talk about is blue. Blue in this little area right here in this throat chakra. Blue. Man, I need to say what I feel. I can't talk about it. I'm stuck, man. I'm stuck in grief. I can't talk about the way I feel. You know, it controls so many things. You know, trauma that we've had in our life, things that's happened to us. You know, response you know, as a response to, you know, maybe being oppressed or not being able to speak about things, or, you know, suffering from experiences that were traumatic or different things, you know, just not being able to communicate. Or maybe even your hearing's going bad, right? Or have you ever known someone that had selective hearing? The interesting thing is that the eyes and the ears, they both have cords because they control a system. So if you are not nourishing your hearing, right? And so this battery is not working. So can you selectively turn off that battery? Because this system right here is not working right. Our expression of self is not working. So we just stop listening. Because what we're failing to reflect, we're getting all that back. You know, when we, just say for an example, sometimes you will find someone that has a very strong personality, and their partner is a very mild-mannered personality, and you think, wow, opposites attract, right? Well, yeah, they do. They do. But the key here is that to be balanced, and for the other person in your life to be balanced too. So you're equally balanced, right? Because when you're not in balance, things start happening. Your body starts not working right. And it could be energetically. It could be because you're not eating right and your body's not getting the nutrients for the transition metals in your body to go where they need to go to perform the functions of your systems that need to be functioning to their fullest capacity, so you can be your best version of yourself. So, you know, you know, a lot of people start having thyroid problems. That's another thing, is that, you know, like, say you work in a job that's just really frustrating. I mean, it's so frustrating, and your boss is such a jerk, you know, and you can't say what you really want to say. You just have to eat it. Man, I tell you, if you could just say what was on your mind, right? But you can't, so you hold it in, right? And then you notice that your stomach starts hurting, and you're just like, oh, man, I don't even want to go to work. My gut's just hurting. Or, you know, or that you start getting a sore throat, or you're just nauseous, or, you know, you feel like you're having a headache. Just like all of these responses, right? So, you know, everything goes hand in hand. So, you know, if you're a pushover, if you can't communicate your feelings, or if maybe you have stage fright, or you have a problem speaking in crowds, or, you know, you have a problem even listening, if you just can't listen. Maybe you have writer's block. You can't communicate what you want to say. You can't talk. There's just that thing, that connection's not going together. It's just not flowing. Well, that can very well be your throat chakra. And one of the interesting things is the color for the throat chakra is blue, And a lot of times that, you know, if you have an imbalance and you have a hard time speaking your mind, it's really good for you to wear like turquoise or a blue stone, a stone that is blue, that has those energetic frequencies, because food of those colors correspond to that chakra. So energetic stones will also correspond to helping these chakras. So your solar plexus is yellow, so you could go and look for some citrine. Some yellow citrine would be great, or yellow jade. Just like yellow foods are going to help balance those chakra energy systems out. The throat chakra is the same thing. You look for blue stones like kyanite, or even blue lapis like lapis lazuli, or other blue stones. There's so many, and they're all beautiful. Look at them. If you feel like you have a imbalance in this area, go to a little gem store or a spiritual shop and look at the stones that they have on display, and you'll find yourself being attracted to one that you really have an affinity for. And if you do, when you do, that is the right stone for you, because your body is intuitively tuning into that frequency. It's saying, hey, this is what's going to help me, because your body is so intelligent that you can look at a shape, and that shape can give you a response. It can give you a physical response. Just like with the throat chakra, it's blue, but it's also a shape. There's a corresponding shape that goes with the throat, and it's a tetrahedron. And the tetrahedron is a symbol that, and we're going to talk more about this because this has been divinely inspired by a family member of mine that's crossed over. And this family member has come to me and has talked to me about energy, art, frequency healing. And it's all about the symbols that correspond to the energy centers that are in our body. And those symbols of these energy centers invoke a physical response. And when they are combined with frequency and light frequency, different types of frequency, that they will heal you. So it's incredible. It's so much to unpack, and I could, it's many videos of compiling different aspects of it. And eventually I hope that we can get into that. So let me get to the diet that really helps with this area of the body is eating purple and blue fruits and vegetables. You can have, go for some purple sweet potatoes. They're phenomenal. One of the most nutritious vegetables that you can eat is a purple sweet potato. Fantastic. Eggplant, blueberries, blue fruits, plums, which is interesting because blue fruits and vegetables are really high in antioxidants. Now, antioxidants are really good for your cells. Now, they help destroy radical things that are trying to attack our cells. They're called free radicals. Antioxidants help protect our body from free radicals that come into our body, and they're trying to do things that they shouldn't and invade our body. Well, that's what those do. That's what those do, because, you know, your throat is your throat is not only just where you communicate from, but it's your thyroid, and your thyroid is so important to your metabolic system. And so your metabolic system needs lots of water, and when your metabolic system is not working right, you need to look at if you have an inflammatory response in your body, and if you're eating too much meat, because sometimes when you eat a lot of concentrated protein, you can get an inflammatory response from large amounts of phosphorus that is created in your body. Now, when you love cola, and when you love red meat, and you love chicken and turkey and things like that, I have a lot of protein in it, absolutely. But that protein is extremely concentrated. And yes, it is okay for you in you know, portions. But, you know, like anything else, moderation. We have to use moderation. Now, I have in the last few months have decided to cut meat from my diet, and I have never felt better. Now, there is a percentage of 45% or more percentage of the United States population that has an enzymatic disorder that is called MTHFR. And this enzyme deficiency, it does not, is very much affected by large toxins that are introduced to the body. And one of them is by very high concentrations of too much of protein, too much dense protein. And if you've ever been in a surgery where you had a reaction to anesthesia, or if you are Jewish descent, a lot of these particular groups have a genetic ancestry that causes this condition. If you are not feeling well, or if you have a family that has high rates of cancer, or a lot of very early premature deaths, you might want to look at this as an option in getting a genetic testing done to see if you have this, because it's very possible. And if you're in your 50s and your health is very, very poor, and you're diabetic or you have heart disease, you probably should talk to your doctor about it, because there's a probability that you could have the MTHFR disorder, enzymatic deficiency. And one of the things is divocaine inhibition, and that's the anesthetic that does not metabolize properly in people that have this condition. It runs in my family in particular, and I've lost both my brothers before 55. And we do have this, and you know, our bodies get toxed out very early from high levels of protein and alcohol, smoking, and poor lifestyle choices. But antioxidants, very important for the blue chakra. So the very last one is the crown chakra, which is often signified as white. Some people could also say that it's purple or violet, but this is your intuition and this is your brain. Now your brain is connected to your spinal cord, so it's also, you know, everything that is connected to the spinal cord. Like a person is, you know, you have your brain, you have your neural pathways, you have your nervous system, you have a lot of things that the brain controls. And if your brain ain't right, your mind ain't right, your pineal gland's calcified, you know, your pituitary gland's not working, you know, you got hot flashes, you're in menopause, you know, you feel like you're hot all the time, your eyes are cloudy, you know, you might be a recovering addict or an alcoholic, and you don't get good sleep, you've had chemotherapy and your sleep cycles are destroyed. Now this has a lot to do with the energy center at the crown, because it affects a lot of effect on your brain happens when you're introducing toxins to the body. It starts in the stomach, and it affects the nervous system. So you know, if you're not dreaming anymore, is one sign that you need to work on your crown energy center, because it could be a very good sign that your pineal gland is calcified. If you're not dreaming anymore, if your sleep cycles are bad, and say you try to take melatonin and it doesn't work, and you're like, oh, that melatonin doesn't work. Well, if the melatonin's not working for you, you need to go back and look at your gut bacteria, because your gut bacteria is not processing the melatonin right to break it down to work in the brain. So you need to go back to square one, which is the gut. So if you are having problems with this energy center, I would say, you know, go for white fruits and vegetables, mushrooms. If you've seen, this is what I was going to talk about in my other video. When you've had veterans that have come back from experiencing conflict, they have a very high startle response. They suffer from mood disorders. They suffer from terrible sleep habits. They're not able to sleep. They have terrifying dreams. Their REM sleep is all jacked up. Their startle response is bad. They have a foggy brain. They have memory problems. This is a very big sign that your crown chakra is damaged. Now, your crown chakra is your energy highway. It's your energy highway to your higher self. Now, when you have experienced visual distress, you've seen things that are just terrible and they've traumatized your brain, you know, that can damage that energy connection with yourself, you know, your self-preserving. The inflammation, you know, it's causing your cloudy judgment. But, you know, things like purple vegetables, like purple beets. Beets are so good for you. Eggplants, grapes, figs, purple cabbage, mushrooms, you know, white vegetables, onions. You know, onions were so important all the way back in Egyptian times, in ancient Egypt. They absolutely relished the onion. The onion was very important. And the egg. The egg is shaped like a head, right? No animals are harmed in the laying of an egg, right? Right. So eat eggs. Cut back on your red meat. Eat eggs. Enjoy dairy. You know, think about the energy that goes involved in an animal that has to have, it's being sacrificed. But in the Bible, and you know, not everybody may believe in the Bible, may not believe in the Bible. You may believe that a lot of things were left out of the Bible. You may believe that the Bible has been misinterpreted, which I think a lot of all the above. But I also think that there's very good things in the Bible, and that when you get to a certain level in your knowledge and in your studies, that you can look at the Bible and you can read it in a completely different way. That, you know, God is not this guy that's sitting on this metal chair floating on a cloud. God is the universe. It's everything in the universe. It's the cosmic spirit of the universe that brought everything together, in such an intelligent way that it works absolutely perfect. It's absolutely perfect if we follow the fundamental laws of the universe. If we just follow the universal laws are set. And if we follow those universal laws, then we're A-okay. We're balanced. That we're connected to our highest self. That we're running on all cylinders. But that brain is so important. That brain is so important. It's your data bank, right? It's the engine. It's the storage. And if we can't remember, or if it's short-circuiting, we got to get that thing healthy, right? And you know, it's always important to be outside in nature and grounding to the earth. But the mind, you have to calm the mind. And when the mind is inflamed, then it can't be settled, and it can't be still, and it can't think, and it can't remember. And then you have memory retention, or you have hyperactivity, or you have just a myriad of things that come from too nervous, running all over, doing 10 things at once and get nothing done. You know, that one person that you work with that spend all day doing busy work and don't get anything accomplished? Exactly. They could probably use a mushroom supplement or a cleanup on the diet, right? You know, the brain is really important, and it needs to be nourished. But we also have to take care, when we're taking care of our brain, we have to be taking care of the gut. So as far as the energy center from the brain, I would say that it's purple, but it also means is that when you get this area in balance and this chakra is connecting to the highest self and it's working, and all these other chakras are in line, right? Because we're starting from the foundation and we're working up. That when we get up to the crown here, right? We got our crown on. We are king and queen, right? That is why we are king and queen, because we have completed and we have achieved moderation and balance. And when we can get through all of these steps, and we can put on our crown, and we can open our crown, and we're in balance, and our energy centers are in balance, and our body's in balance. Our magnetic frequency, our magnetic field is totally intact. And we have no dis-ease. No dis-ease. All of these batteries are firing on 100% because they're being nourished with the right kind of transition metals and and minerals that they need to exchange them and do the things they do, and go to all of the places they need to go so everything can work right. So this is a one thing that I'm just going to stop there, but that is the thing about the different chakras. And if you're interested in learning more about these, we'll continue in another video. I want to go further into on the shapes of these chakras and how different types of shapes can be incorporated into art, and with the frequencies and the minerals that are associated with those frequencies in the body, the areas in the body, the chakras in the body, those micronutrients, those nutrients and those minerals and those transition metals that are associated with the colors, the shapes, and the areas in the chakras of the body. I want to go deep down, dive into those, and see if together we can tweak the frequencies, the colors, the gems, the minerals, and if we can come up in the resonance, the resonant frequency of the shapes, the colors, the minerals, and the sound, and cymatics, and just everything together in a whole art form, in an art form that we can put together that can help heal the body. So I think it sounds like it can be a very interesting subject to deep dive into. Now, I know a lot of you aren't watching my videos now, but eventually you will find me, and I'm here for you. I'm here for you, and we are going to go through all this stuff together. So when the time is right, you will be here, because we are all living in the past, the future, and the present simultaneously. So I will be here tomorrow, I will be here yesterday, and I am here today. So when your frequency is tuned in to receive this message, you will receive this message. So thanks for being with me again and taking 52 minutes of your time. That's a long time, but it was a lot of information to cover. So if you have time to watch it, if you want to come back and watch it in sections, by all means. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to do that either. If you don't understand it, then you can come back later when you do. You know, there's a lot to learn about all of this. It's a lot of information that has to be revisited. So, you know, I don't claim to be an expert on anything. I just try to do my best to use my intuition and listen to things that I've been taught, things that I've been told by my elders, things that I've been communicated to from my family members that have crossed over, and things that I've experienced myself, and a lot of studying and learn by bird methods to bring information to you. So thank you once again, and thank you for watching Sacred Enzyme. Have a good evening.